Imagine waking up one morning and the world outside has disappeared. Not because it's dark, because everything is white. The ground is frozen, the trees are covered in ice. The water you drank yesterday is now solid, and somewhere beyond your shelter, the temperature is dropping so fast that staying outside for too long could kill you. You have no house, no heater, no supermarket, no winter jacket, and if you don't find food today, you might not have enough energy to survive tomorrow. For us, winter is usually an inconvenience. You turn up the heat, put on a warm jacket, and walk into a store filled with food from all over the world. But for ancient humans, winter was something completely different. It was a test, and for the humans who first moved into cold environments, surviving it required more than simply staying warm. They had to completely change the way they lived. The first problem was obvious: cold. The human body is remarkably good at keeping its core temperature stable, but only when it has enough energy and protection. Without adequate clothing or shelter, prolonged exposure to freezing temperatures can lead to hypothermia, frostbite, and eventually death. And ancient humans couldn't simply buy a thicker coat. They had to make one. Animal skins became one of the most important technologies in human history, but a raw animal hide isn't a winter jacket. It's heavy, it's stiff, and when it gets wet, it becomes even worse. So humans had to learn how to process hides, remove unwanted tissue, soften the material, and turn it into something that could actually protect the body. And this is where something interesting happened. Clothing wasn't just about covering the body, it became a technology. Different environments demanded different solutions. A person living in a cold, dry environment needed protection from wind. Someone living in a wet environment needed materials that could resist moisture. And in extremely cold regions, humans needed layers. The goal wasn't simply to create the thickest possible clothing, it was to trap warm air close to the body. But clothing alone wasn't enough, because every night brought the same problem. You had to sleep somewhere, and sleeping directly on frozen ground could drain heat from your body incredibly quickly. So ancient humans began using their surroundings: caves, rock shelters, snow, wood, animal bones, grass, leaves. Anything that could create a barrier between the body and the cold environment could make the difference between surviving the night and not waking up in the morning. But the most important invention may have been something humans had already learned to control: fire. A fire could provide warmth, it could provide light, it could help cook food, and it could make a dangerous cave feel like a place where humans could actually live. But there's a catch: fire needs fuel, and during winter, collecting enough fuel could become a daily problem. Imagine walking through a frozen landscape searching for dry wood while your hands are numb and the sun is disappearing. You can't just make a fire whenever you want. You have to plan for it. You need enough fuel to survive the night, and enough to keep the fire going tomorrow. This is where cooperation became critical. A single human might struggle to survive a harsh winter alone, but a group could divide the work. Some people could search for food, others could collect fuel, someone could maintain the fire, and others could care for children. Survival became a group project, and winter made one thing very clear: you couldn't waste energy. During warmer months, humans could move around more freely. They could hunt, gather plants, follow animals. But winter changed the rules. Food became harder to find. Many plants disappeared. Some animals migrated. Others became difficult to track beneath snow and ice. So humans had to become better at planning. A successful hunt wasn't just about eating today. It was about thinking about tomorrow, and the day after that, and the weeks when food might become almost impossible to find. This may be one reason why humans became such extraordinary hunters. We weren't the fastest animals. We weren't the strongest, but we could track, we could cooperate, and we could remember. A group could follow animal tracks across snow, predict where a herd might move, and work together to bring down prey much larger than any single human could handle. And the animal itself provided more than food. Its meat provided energy, its fat provided valuable calories, its bones could become tools, its hide could become clothing, and its tendons could become strong cords. One successful hunt could provide the raw materials needed to survive for days, weeks, or even longer. But perhaps the biggest advantage humans had wasn't physical at all. It was knowledge. The first humans entering cold environments didn't have a manual explaining how to survive. They learned through experience: which plants could still be found in winter, where animals traveled, which caves were safe, where water could be found, how to build a fire, how to make clothing, and how to recognize the signs of an approaching storm. Then they passed that knowledge to the next generation. A child born into a harsh environment didn't have to start from zero. They inherited thousands of years of accumulated survival knowledge. And that's something that made humans different. We didn't just adapt biologically, we adapted culturally. Instead of waiting for the human body to evolve thicker fur, humans built tools. Instead of growing stronger claws, we made weapons. Instead of waiting for our bodies to become naturally resistant to the cold, we made clothing and shelters. We changed the environment around us. And that may be the real reason ancient humans survived their first winters. Not because winter became less dangerous, but because humans became better at preparing for it. They learned to use fire. They learned to make clothing. They built shelters. They hunted together. They stored knowledge. And most importantly, they worked as groups. Because when the temperature dropped and the landscape turned against them, survival wasn't about being the strongest person. It was about knowing what to do and knowing who you could depend on. Thousands of years later, we still do the same thing. We just replace animal skins with winter jackets, caves with heated houses, and fires with central heating. The technology changed, but the basic problem didn't. When winter arrives, humans still do what our ancestors did. We prepare, we adapt, and we find a way to survive.